They found him face down on the bathroom floor. The king of rock and roll, dead at just 42 years old. As news spread across America on August 16, 1977, one question emerged alongside the grief. How could this happen? The answer might be sitting right on his plate. Tonight we uncover the shocking truth about Elvis Presley's final meal, a secret that's remained buried for almost 5 decades until now. Welcome back to the channel, Truth Seekers. Before we dive into the untold story of Elvis's Last Supper, a mystery that changes everything we thought we knew about his final hours, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is the investigation they don't want you to see, and I promise by the end of these 25 minutes you'll never look at a peanut butter sandwich the same way again. The story we've all been told goes something like this. In the early morning hours of August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley enjoyed his favorite midnight snack, a fried peanut butter and banana sandwich, before heading to his bathroom with a book. Hours later he was found dead on the floor. This version of events has been repeated so many times that it's practically gospel among Elvis fans. It's a neat, tidy story that somehow feels right. The king enjoying his favorite indulgence one final time. There's just one massive problem. Nearly everything about this story might be completely wrong. To understand the mystery of Elvis's final meal, we need to go back to Graceland on that fateful day in August. The Memphis heat was stifling, and Elvis, who had been struggling with insomnia, finally went to bed around 7 a.m. after a late night playing racquetball and singing with family members. His fiancée at the time, Ginger Alden, was with him. According to her 2014 memoir, Elvis consumed some cookie dough ice cream and cookies around 4 a.m., a detail that already contradicts the popular peanut butter sandwich narrative. But Ginger wasn't the only one with something to say about Elvis's final hours. His father, Vernon Presley, later claimed Elvis had a small breakfast of toast and coffee earlier that day. Meanwhile, Joe Esposito, Elvis's road manager and close friend for many years, insisted Elvis hadn't eaten anything substantial in the hours before his death. And then there's George Nichopoulos, known as Dr. Nick, Elvis's personal physician, who stated that Elvis had been eating very little in his final days due to various health issues. 4 people close to Elvis, 4 different stories. So if all these accounts conflict, how do we uncover the truth? The most reliable witness might be Mary Jenkins Langston, Elvis's personal cook for 14 years. In rare interview footage from the 1990s, she revealed, "He hadn't been eating well for days. I fixed him a small plate of food before he went to bed that morning, some little sandwiches and a little fruit, but I don't know if he ate any of it." This account matches what we know about Elvis's deteriorating health in his final days, struggling with chronic constipation, insomnia, and the effects of numerous prescription medication. The official autopsy report, while not fully released to the public, made no specific mention of stomach contents, which would have provided definitive evidence of Elvis's final meal. Medical examiners were more focused on determining the cause of death, which was ultimately attributed to cardiac arrhythmia, likely triggered by his prescription drug use and underlying health conditions. But the autopsy did confirm one thing: Elvis was suffering from severe constipation and an enlarged colon, conditions that would have significantly affected his appetite in those final days. To fully understand Elvis's relationship with food, and why his last meal has become such an enduring mystery, we need to look back at where it all began. Born in Tupelo, Mississippi during the Great Depression, Elvis grew up with simple Southern cooking that emphasized comfort over nutrition. His mother, Gladys Presley, showed love through food, preparing dishes that were filling, affordable and familiar. This upbringing established Elvis's lifelong preference for Southern comfort foods. When fame and fortune arrived, Elvis could have dined on anything his heart desired. Yet instead of embracing gourmet cuisine, he largely maintained his taste for the foods of his youth, albeit in increasingly indulgent forms. Former members of his Memphis Mafia, the nickname given to Elvis's entourage, often recounted late-night food runs and Elvis's epic appetite. They described midnight feasts of hamburgers, hot dogs, bacon and yes, those famous peanut butter and banana sandwiches, sometimes fried in a stick of butter. Perhaps the most legendary example of Elvis's food extravagance came in 1976, just a year before his death. After hearing about a specialty sandwich from a restaurant in Denver called the Colorado Mine Company, Elvis reportedly flew his private jet from Memphis to Denver in the middle of the night, just to satisfy his craving. The sandwich, called the Fool's Gold Loaf, consisted of a hollowed-out loaf of bread filled with an entire jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly and a pound of bacon, all toasted in the oven. The price tag, about $50 in 1976 dollars, equivalent to, according to witnesses, Elvis and his entourage consumed multiple sandwiches in the hangar of the Denver airport before flying back to Memphis, without ever leaving the airport. By 1977, Elvis's eating habits had become deeply concerning to those around him. Nick later revealed that he had been trying to manage Elvis's diet due to various health issues, including obesity, high blood pressure and an enlarged colon. Elvis had several health issues that were exacerbated by his diet, Dr. Nick stated he suffered from chronic constipation, which led to strain and eventually contributed to his heart problems. But controlling Elvis's diet proved nearly impossible, especially given his nocturnal lifestyle and tendency to surround himself with people eager to please him. According to several Memphis Mafia members, Elvis would often send his private chef away for the night, only to dispatch his buddies on midnight food runs once the health-conscious supervision was gone. This behavior intensified in his final years as his prescription drug use increased and his sleep patterns became even more erratic. So what do we actually know about Elvis's final hour? We know that on the evening of August 15, Elvis played racquetball on his court at Graceland, with his cousin and fiancée. He also reportedly played piano and sang Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. By most accounts, he seemed in relatively good spirits despite his deteriorating health. Around 7 a.m. on August 16, Elvis took a combination of prescription medications to help him sleep, something that had become routine. He then retired to his bedroom with some reading material. Ginger Alden found Elvis unresponsive on his bathroom floor around. Despite emergency response efforts, he was pronounced dead at Baptist Memorial Hospital at 3:30. The official cause was cardiac arrhythmia, but the autopsy revealed numerous health issues, including an enlarged heart, atherosclerotic heart disease, and evidence of prescription drug use. What's notably missing from these established facts is any definitive evidence about Elvis's last meal. The famous peanut butter and banana sandwich story likely emerged from the conflation of Elvis's well-known favorite foods with the events of his final hours. It's more symbolic than factual, a neat narrative that ties together Elvis's legendary appetite with his tragic end. Despite, or perhaps because of, the uncertainty surrounding Elvis's final meal, the mythology has taken on a life of its own. Across America and around the world, restaurants serve the Elvis sandwich. Cookbooks feature recipes claiming to be his favorites. Graceland visitors often make pilgrimages to local diners that advertise Elvis's favorite dish. The peanut butter and banana sandwich has become so intrinsically linked with Elvis that it serves as a kind of edible shorthand for his entire persona: Southern, indulgent, unpretentious, and unmistakably unique. This food connection runs deeper than mere trivia. Food anthropologists suggest that by eating what our idols ate, we forge a visceral connection with them. In Elvis's case, the accessibility of his favorite foods makes him feel more relatable, more human, despite his almost mythic status in American culture. Unlike other aspects of Elvis's extraordinary life, the fame, fortune, and adulation, his love for peanut butter and banana sandwiches represents something attainable, something ordinary fans can experience. The power of this connection explains why nearly every film and documentary about Elvis includes scenes of him enjoying his favorite foods. From Kurt Russell in the 1979 TV movie Elvis, to Austin Butler in Baz Luhrmann's 2022 biopic, actors portraying the king are almost always shown taking a bite of his signature sandwich. These moments serve as narrative shorthand, quickly communicating Elvis's Southern roots, childlike enjoyments, and ultimately his human vulnerability. The sandwich has become more than just a meal. It's a symbol of Elvis himself, unique, indulgent, rooted in humble beginnings, and eternally fascinating. In many ways, the enduring fascination with Elvis's eating habits reflects our complex relationship with the man, a mortal who achieved immortality through his art, but couldn't escape human frailty. But returning to the mystery at hand, what really was Elvis's last meal? The evidence points to a far less dramatic conclusion than legend suggests. Based on the most credible witness accounts and what we know about Elvis's health in his final days, it seems likely that Elvis ate very little, if anything at all, in the hours before his death. His chronic constipation, combined with the sedative effects of his medications, would have significantly reduced his appetite. This less sensational truth contains its own poignancy. The man who once flew across the country on a whim for a specialty sandwich had lost his legendary appetite. The king who could command any delicacy in the world may have passed from this life without the comfort of a final favorite meal. There's something profoundly human in this possibility, a reminder that Elvis, for all his superhuman talent and larger-than-life persona, was ultimately just a man, subject to the same physical decline and mortal limits as anyone else. Nearly 5 decades after Elvis's death, the exact details of his final meal remain shrouded in conflicting accounts and hazy memory. Perhaps that's fitting for a man whose life contains so many contradictions. The shy mama's boy and the hip-swiveling rebel, the poor Mississippi kid and the Graceland mansion owner, the sex symbol and the gospel singer. Elvis contained multitudes, and so too does his legend. What's clear is that Elvis's relationship with food, like his relationship with fame, fortune and his own talent, was complicated. Food represented comfort, home and indulgence for Elvis. It connected him to his southern roots even as his extraordinary life took him far from that. And in his later years, as health issues mounted and his world increasingly contracted to the confines of Graceland, food became both solace and symptom of deeper problems. In the end, whether Elvis's last meal included his famous favorite sandwich or not matters less than what the story represents. Our enduring desire to understand the man behind the legend, to find the ordinary in the extraordinary, and to keep the king's memory alive. Elvis left the building on August 16, 1977, but his cultural impact remains as powerful as ever. His music continues to inspire new generations. His home at Graceland welcomes hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. And yes, people everywhere still make peanut butter and banana sandwiches, and think of the king with every bite. That's a kind of immortality few achieve, remembered not just for what they created, but for how they lived, what they loved, and even what they ate. The mystery of Elvis's last meal may never be fully solved, but perhaps some mysteries are meant to endure. After all, isn't that uncertainty, that space between the facts and the legends, where the most interesting conversations about our cultural icons take place? That's certainly true for Elvis Presley, a man who continues to fascinate us nearly half a century after his passing. If this deep dive into Elvis's culinary legacy has left you hungry for more untold stories about the king, you're in the right place. This channel is dedicated to uncovering the hidden histories and separating fact from fiction when it comes to our most beloved legend. If you enjoyed this investigation, make this the day you join our community of truth seekers by smashing that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell. And I need to know, are you team peanut butter and banana, or do you think Elvis's last meal was something else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments below. For an exclusive look at the rare interviews we uncovered during our research, including never-before-seen footage of Elvis's personal cook Mary Jenkins, check out the extended cut on our Patreon, link in the description. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, especially when it involves the king of rock and roll. Until next time, thank you very much indeed.